configuring routing we do to connect the to configure the router to connect multiple network. Doing routing, what routing means, creating in routing we can say easily that routing means what, creating the routing table in the router. Like when a router wants to send the data to some destination, router checks its routing table for it. It checks the routing table. In the routing table, it has an entry about the data, about the network, destination network. Then it will forward the data to the.
Yes, yes, yes,
Otherwise, it will
understandable.
not forward the data to that network. So creating that routing table in the router is called routing. And we have two options for doing that. One is static routing and the second one is the dynamic routing. In static routing, what we do, we create the routing table manually. And in the dynamic routing, what we do, we use the routing protocols. And the routing protocols do what? They create the routing table automatically, or we can say dynamically. And that is why it is called dynamic routing. Now, static routing we configure manually. That means we inform the router about all the networks manually. Like we have configured it here. Here we have these two networks, like two routers here, where they are connected to two different networks, like network 10 and network 172.16.0.0, and they are connected through this WAN connection. We can say it is not a WAN connection. I have directly connected the serial cable, but we can assume that this is a WAN connection. Now we want to connect these site 1 network to site 2. So what we do, we have to configure the routing here. So we have two options, dynamic or static. Now for static, what we do, we configure the routing table manually. So for example, I went to this router here. And what I did, I configured the routing table manually here. And for that, what I did, I went to the config terminal command. I used the router IP root command. Then I mentioned the destination network. For example, 172.16 dot 172.16.0.0. Then you have to mention the subnet mask for that. And if it is if it is having a subnetting, then subnetted mask. If it is not subnetting, then default subnet mask. But we have to give the subnet mask. Then after that, we have to give the first hop address. First hop address is the address of the next router. That means if you are configuring this Andheri router and you want to go to this network on site 2, then you can only go through this Thane router. And this is the next router we have. And the next router, that means when you go through this serial cable, so you will get into this Thane router with this serial interface. And in this serial interface, we have this IP configured. So this IP will be our first hop address. Or in router configuration, it is called, when I put the question mark, it says forwarding router's address. So we can give forwarding router address, or we can say the first hop address. Now why I am saying first hop address, because if you have a multiple routers and multiple networks, then is still this first hop will be always the first hop. This first hop will not change, and that is why it is called first hop address, and you have to give the first hop address. Otherwise, you can give one more thing. You can give the outgoing interface name. Outgoing interface name of our own router. That means we can mention also these interface name, either serial, gigabit, ethernet, fast ethernet. So we can mention these interface name also, and we can mention it in our router here, that this is our outgoing interface for this network. Now for example, we are configuring this router Andheri. So for going into the site 2 network, where we go on this site, and to go to this site, we have to mention this we have to get out of this interface. So we have to get out of this interface. So what, this interface name we can configure here. So what is the interface name? We are seeing here that it is serial 0/0. So what we will mention here? We will mention serial, then the number of that interface 0/0, or we will mention the first hop address or forwarding router address. So I did what? I mentioned the forwarding address, that is 20.0.0.2, which is this address. This is the very next router, and this is the first hop we take, first jump we take from this router to this router. And when we want to enter the router Thane, then we have to enter from this serial interface, and that serial interface is having this IP address. So this is the first hop address. And the same thing I did for this router also. I configure the same thing on this router also. I did it on this router also for the other network. Other network, that means the site 1 network, that is network 10. So here also what I did here, I went to the config terminal here, I went to the command IP root. The command will never change. The network for this Thane is the not connected network, we can say, or the network which is Thane. This router does not know about it. Remember, the router knows only the network by default which is connected to the router directly. So for this router Thane, the 20's network is connected through the serial 0/0. So it knows about the network 20, and the fast Ethernet network is directly connected to fast Ethernet 0/0. The network is 172.16.0.0. So it knows about this network also. But the other network, which is this network 10, it does not know. It is not directly connected. So we can say it is not directly connected. So whatever the network it is not directly connected, we mention that, we create that, we enter it into the routing table manually. So here I will add this network 10 with the subnet mask, whether it is subnetted or not. And then here again we mention the first hop address. So first hop address for this router Thane for the network 10 is this. Because when you want to go to this network, so you will go from here, from this serial interface, from this side, and you will enter the router Andheri, and you will enter the router Andheri through this interface, and this will be the IP of the interface. So this IP will be the first hop address for this router, for this network. So what we mention here is that 20.0.0.1. So this is what I did for the configuration of statically configuring this network here. Now after configuring this, we can verify the routing table by using the show IP root command. So we can see these two networks were directly connected through the interfaces, serial and fast Ethernet. We can see the C here, and C means it is directly connected. Then this network we configured manually via, that means router knows that we can go to this network via 20.0.0.1. This is the first hop address, and this network we configured through S, and that is static. And that is what we have configured here on this router also. So when I check this router, I go to privilege mode, I give command show. Remember, the show command works on only privilege mode. Show IP root. So what it shows here, that this router knows about these two networks, which is directly connected through serial and fast Ethernet ports, and the network we configured manually is this, and it can reach to that network via 20.0.0.2. This is the first hop address for that, and it is what S means it is statically configured network. Now this is what is static routing. Now static routing will get difficult when you have a big network. When you have a big network, it starts getting difficult. Here we have only two sites, site 1, site 2. There is no other sites we have. But when we have multiple sites, when we have a big network or a complex network, then it can become difficult. Let's say, for example, I will add one more network, one more site here. So I will add some more router here, and the router does not have a serial interface, so let me add the serial interface to it. Okay, now what I will do here, I will add the switches and some machines. And I will connect them all. I will use auto connection. Automatic connection will automatically decide that what connection you want to take, what is suitable for the connection. So when you click on this device and this device, so it will decide the suitable connection automatically. Okay, so this router will be our, we'll name this router, and the IP addresses which we are going to use here, let's say this is our site 3, and here we are going to use the network 192.168.0.0 or 1.0. So according to that, we will mention the IP address here on the fast Ethernet 0/0. We will give one network IP here, 1.1. Then this machines will get 1.2. This will get 1.3. 1.4. And for the serial interface, I will use one of the IP, like for example, I will use 30.0.0.1 here and 30.0.0.2 here. That is what for this WAN. I am going to use network 30. So I have added one more site here. So what I did here, I added one more router here to add one more network here. Now one more network I have added. Now first IP addresses I have not configured, like this IP I have to configure on this serial interface of the router. These ones are already configured, but because I have added this, so I have to configure this IP also. And on this router also I have to configure these IP addresses. So first I will configure these IP addresses, then I will show you how we'll do the routing also. Okay, now I have configured the IP addresses on the interfaces. The interfaces are enabled. Now what? Now I want to do the routing again. Router A, because I want to make sure that this network, this end machine to end machine, they have the communication. That means when I try to ping from this 10.0.0.2 to 192.168.1.1, 1.2, 1.3 or 1.4, it must give the reply, because if it must give the reply, it must be connected. Now for doing that, remember all these here on this Andheri and Thane, we have already configured the static routing. We have added only one more router, and these two new networks like 30 and these 192.168.0.0 network. So it is not like we only have to configure this Pune router. In static routing, what we have to do, we have to configure all the routers, and we have to inform them that these new networks have come. It is not like we mention only the new router. That means I have to configure the new router, but again I have to configure these routers also, which is already configured, because the new network comes and they don't know about those networks. Like when I go onto this router and when I check show IP route, so it shows only this, that the 20 and 1020 is directly connected, and it knows only about this 172.16.0.0 network. but it does not know about this network which we have added right now. And because it is statically configured, so we have to inform these routers that these new networks are also there. Okay, so now when I see this router first, which is we added here, we have configured these IP addresses on the interfaces done. Now when I check the routing table of this router, show IP route, so it knows only the connected network 30 and network 192.168.1.0. It does not know about these other networks like 172.16 and also network 10. It does not know about anything about these networks, or network 20 also. So we have to make sure this router knows all the networks and we have to configure it. Now for this router first, I will configure the new router first. I will go to config terminal here. The command will be IP route. The command will never change. Now we will mention one by one each network. Remember, one line only, one command. If you read this, when you go to the config mode, it says enter the configuration commands, but only one per line. You cannot add multiple commands at the same time. So you have to add each network one by one. So let's say it knows 30 and 192.168. That means it knows about these two networks, this network and this network. Now it does not know about this 172.16, 20 or 10. So I will start from this network 172.16.0.0. So I will do what? So I will go to the router and then I will give command once IP route, and the network is 172.16.0.0. The network which is this router does not know. So this is the network and the subnet mask. So we don't have any subnetting here, so I will go with the default subnet mask. Now again we have to mention the first hop address or outgoing interface. Now first hop address will be this. Like when you are sitting on this Pune router and you want to go to this network, this is site 2 network 172.16.0.0. Then where you will go? You will go from this serial cable. You will go from this WAN network or serial cable, and you will reach the router Thane first. Remember, you have to enter the router Thane to go to this network, and through this Thane router only you can reach to this network. And to enter into the Thane router, we have to enter through this interface, and this interface has this IP address. So this is our first hop address. So what I will mention here, 30.0.0.1. Now the next network which this router does not know is about like 20. 20 is also there and it does not know about. So this Pune router does not know about the 20 network. So I will mention that also. So the next command will be again IP route. The network I will say 20. Then subnet mask. Now what will be the first hop address for this? So again, if you want to reach to this network 20, again you have to go through the Thane. And the Thane router, when you enter, you will enter from this interface. Remember the direction. The direction is in this side, so you will go through this serial cable and you will enter in the Thane router with this interface. And this interface has this IP address. Again, this is the first router. And this is the first router's first address, and this is what our first hop address. So again I will mention the same first hop address for it. Now there is one more network which this router does not know, and that is this 10. So the next network we don't know, this router don't know, is this network 10. So for network 10, again I will do what? I will run the command IP route. Network is network 10. The subnet mask is default. Then now again, what will be the first hop address? So again, if I want to go to this network, so remember you are starting from where? You are starting from this Pune router, and this is the road you can assume. So this is your road to reach this network, and when you take your bike to this road, So you will go and the first station will be this Thane again, because you are going to this 10 network and it is in this side. So when you go, so you will go with this road. So first station comes is the Thane station, or we can say this is the first stop you have, and you have to enter it. You cannot go over it. You have to enter it because you are entering it to this serial interface. The road is entering here and then it is exiting from this interface. So you have to enter it. Now when you want to enter the router, this is the first interface you have. Without this interface you cannot enter to this router from this side. I'm saying from this side because if you are coming from this side, then you will enter from this fast Ethernet port. If you are coming from this side, then you will enter from this serial 0/1. So this first station is your first hop, and the interface which you use to enter the router, that interface is serial 0/1, and the IP address of that interface is 30.0.0.1. So again, even you are mentioning this network 10, your first hop address will always be this 30.0.0.1 of this first hop router. So this is the first hop router, and the the interface or the IP address of that interface is your first hop address for this network, for this router Pune. So what I will configure here, the same hop address. Now we don't have any more network to configure. Now it is done for this Pune router. When I check this, so these two networks were default connected. We configured this 172 network as a static. We can reach through 30.0.0.1. Then again we configure this network 10 and 20 also, and also we can reach to those network through 30.0.0.1. These are the first hop address for these networks. Now it is for this Pune. Now configure the Pune router. Now if I try to ping this again, let's see, I will try to ping it from again this machine 10, and I will try to ping this site 3 IP address, any of these site 3 IP address. So I will go to this. I will say I want to ping first. I will ping site 2 first. Okay, I am pinging from this machine to this machine, and we are getting the reply because the routing is configured. Now the first packet is dropping. I will show you why this first packet is dropping. I will show you why it is dropping, but now next time when I try to ping, it will not drop any packet. But only first time it drops one packet. I will show you why. Now I will try to ping one of this IP of this interface. But remember, we have already configured this Pune router, so we should get the reply. So I will try to ping 172.16.1.2. I will try to ping this machine. Now what I am getting here is destination host unreachable. We have configured this Pune router, but still we are getting destination host unreachable. Now why we are getting destination host unreachable from this side? Because these router does not know about these Pune, does not know about these new networks. They only know about the networks which we have already configured. So the new network which we have added here, they don't know about it. But this Pune knows about these all networks. We have configured this Pune router to know all the network. So let's try, we ping from this machine to this machine. So I will try to ping from here any of these other network machines. So I will go to ping command prompt, and I will try to ping 10.0.0.2. Now this time what we will get is timeout. What we are getting here, we are getting a timeout here. Now why we are getting a timeout here? Because our router, this router knows about these networks. So when this machine sends the data to this network, it do what? It sends the packet. It knows that, so it sends the packet. So the packet, request packet goes, but when the reply comes, this router does not know about this network, so the reply is not reaching us. So when you add a new network into your network, and you have configured the static routing, so not only you have to configure the new router, you have to configure the other routers also, or you have to configure all the routers. This is only 2 routers we have, so we will configure only these 2 routers. But if you imagine, if you have a 10, 20 or 50 routers network, so when you add a new network, then you have to inform all the 50 routers. You have to configure every router manually. So any change in the network, any change in the design, you have to reconfigure every router manually. And how you will configure, let's say we'll go to this Thane now, and we'll check what it knows by checking the show routing to show IP route, and it shows that this router knows about these 3 networks which is directly connected. It knows about 10, but it does not know about network 192.168.1.0. So we have to mention that network here in this routing table. So what I will do, I will go to config terminal, command IP route, then the network 1.0, then subnet mask. Now first hop address. Now this time we are sitting on Thane, and we want to go to this 192.168.1.0 network, site 3, and it is connected to this Pune network, Pune router. So we will go through which interface? We will go through this interface, this cable, because it is on this side, it is not on this side. So we will go from this interface. The first router, the first hop address we will meet is Pune, and the first interface we will use to enter to Pune is this, and the IP address is this. So the first hop address will be this 30.0.0.2. So what I will configure here, the first hop address will be 30.0.0.2. Now there is no other network here we have, so I will check show IP route, and now it knows all the available networks we have. It knows about 10, 20, 30, 172.16.0.0 and 192.168.1.0. Now it can forward any packet related to these networks, it can forward properly. Now when we go to this Andheri router and we check show IP route, so it does not, it only knows about network 10 and 20. It does not know about network, or also it knows about 172.16, but it does not know about the network 30 and network 192.168.0.0. So we have to mention and we have to configure those networks here manually. So I will go to config mode here. The command will be IP route. The network first I will mention 30 and the subnet mask for the 30 network. Now the first hop for the 30 network. Now again we are sitting on this Andheri. We want to go to this network of 30. So we have to go through this serial cable, and when we go through this serial cable, the first router we meet is Thane. The first hop will be Thane, and the interface will be this serial 0/0. And on that interface we have this IP 20.0.0.2. So I will mention. Now we have one more network on Pune, and that is what? 192.168.1.0, and the subnet mask is default class C subnet mask. Now the network is here inside 3, and again we are sitting on Andheri. Now we want to go to this network, so where we will go? We will go through the serial cable, this serial cable again, and the first router we make will be this Thane. That means this is our first hop router, and the interface we meet is this serial 0/0, and the IP address again is 20.0.0.2. So whenever we go to this side, if you say, you will always see this Thane router, and this IP will be your first hop address. If you are going to this side, So I will mention 20.0.0.2. Now when I check show IP route, now it knows about all the networks now. Now when I try to ping either from this side or this side, we will get the reply. So I will try to ping it from this side again. And it was saying destination host unreachable. Now when I try to ping, I get the reply now. I get the reply because now all the routers knows about these networks. Now from this side when I try, it was saying timeout. Now when I try to ping, we get the reply again. Now this is what static routing. So this is what I added, only one router here, one side, 3 here. So you see how much configuration I have to do. I have to configure this router, then I have to configure all the existing routers also. Now if you have more routers, if you have more network, your network is big, then it will be very difficult to manage. So static routing is actually a very fast routing, because router don't have to do anything. Remember, routers don't have to think by themselves. They don't have to think it, they just have to forward it. They just have to forward it because the routing table we have created manually. They don't have to create the routing table. We have created the routing table for them. So they just do the forwarding and it works fast. So static routing is very fast as compared to dynamic routing. But the problem comes when you have a big network. It is very good for the small network and it is also very good for the backup network, but it is not good for the big network. When you have a big network, then you will face the problem, because it is what the first problem is manageability. Like it is not easy to manage because it is a big network. So whenever any change comes, so you have to manage it manually. Then one more problem comes when your design changes or you face some downtime, or your network disconnects. Then alternate paths it will not take automatically. For example, sometime we have a network like a big network, and it is like multiple paths we have to reach to some destination. Like for example, we have this router here, and this router is connected to some network. Let's say this is our network here, which is connected to this router. Then there is another router here in other side, and that is connected to that site network. Now we want to go from this network to this network. So sometime we may have multiple paths. Multiple paths, that means suppose we have one path where we have two routers. That means we go first to this router, then we go to this router, then we go to this router. Then we may have sometime other paths also, like we have this router here, so we may have suppose this router and this router directly connect to this, or sometime we have the other path also, like this one, then this one, then this one, then to this one. So we have 3 paths here to reach to the destination network. So this is from here to here or from here to here. So either we want to go from here to there or there to here. We have 3 paths. Now what we'll do, we'll choose the short path. Router's job is to choose the shortest path. So how it will choose the shortest path? Right now we are doing the static routing. So administrator's job is to choose the small path. Now here router is not doing anything. Router is not doing anything, and that is why static routing is very fast. So we decide that this path is the short path. So what we will do, we will create the routing table here in this router, like IP route and the network, this network. Then we mention the first hop address will be this router's first hop address. So our router will always take this path. it will always go to this path. Now if this path goes down, this is the problem. When the problem comes, suppose this path goes down from here, whatever the network cable disconnects or something happens, physical problem, the path is down. Now our router will not automatically take these other paths. This is the problem. It will not take the other paths automatically, because the static routing is what manually configuring. So it will not take the path automatically. We have to choose the path manually, and we will know that, we will do that when we know. So for that, administrator has to keep monitoring regularly that the path is running or not. If it is not monitoring, then what happens? Suddenly the path will goes down and everyone will be disconnected and administrator is not aware about it. Then what? Administrator has to come directly, quickly it has to come, and it has to change this routing table. It has to give a new command that this is the network subnet mask, and now it will use the second path, like second the other first hop address. Let's say this is the second best path. So this next time I will use, if this path goes down, so I will use the new path, I will give the new command, and I will mention this first hop address. Now this I have to do it manually because it will not do it automatically. This is also a problem of static routing. So if you have a big network, then you have a problem of managing. The managing is difficult. Then it will not take automatically the other path, alternate path. It will not take automatically. You have to configure it manually in case of down network, in case of problem. Then one more problem comes, because it is configured by the administrator. Administrator is a human, so human makes mistakes also. So if human do what? If administrator mistakenly given the wrong first hop address, then what? It will be the problem again. It will be the problem, like for example, I have these networks here, one router, two router, three router, four router, and we have these networks connected to these routers. Now when I configuring the router for static routing, so I have to mention the first hop address properly. If I mention wrong, like for going, I'm configuring this router here, so for going into this network, the first hop address will be this, because we go from this side. And to go to these networks, the first hop address will always be this, because we'll go from this side. So the first hop address will be this, or I will go to this, then again the first hop address, remember first, so it will be this, not this one. This is not first, it is second. So if my administrator do the mistake, if it is configuring this network and give the first hop address as this router's address, then it will be the wrong configuration and it will never reach this router, this network. Now because the administrator is a human, it can make a mistake. So it will not reach to this destination, the network will not work, and the clients of these network will not be able to connect the clients of these networks. And then what they will say, I'm not connecting. Administrator says, I have configured it, but why you are not connecting? Now they have to do the troubleshoot and they have to check in, and it is very difficult when you have multiple path in routing tables. So it will be very difficult for administrator also to find out the problem. So these things are problem of static routing, and that is why we use the dynamic routing. So that is why we use the dynamic routing. And again I am saying, you have to mention the first hop. Either you are going very long, like you have multiple routers connected here, your multiple routers connected in a straight line, and you have a network here in this end of the router, and these all connected like the straight line again. Now when you are configuring any of these router, like suppose you are configuring this router and you are mentioning this router, this network, you will mention the IP root command, IP root, then you will mention this network and the subnet mask, then you mention the first hop address. Now again this is the network, it is very far, but again the first hop address will be this, because when you go to this side you always get the first router as this router and the first hop address as this address. So if you don't give this first hop address, you give any of these or you give any of these, then you will be doing the wrong configurations. And then what you router will not say it is wrong. Remember, when you try to enter the command, it will not say it is wrong. The command will be right, but it will not work. It will not say like the command is wrong. It will say it will take it, it will command, the command will be taken and you say that configuration is right. But no, it is not right, it is wrong, and you not reach the data will not reach to the destination and your network will not work. So static routing is very easy to it is not easy to manage, not easy to configure, but it is what very fast. And again, if you want to remove the static routing, it is also difficult. So if you want to remove the static routing, like say I want to remove the static routing, what we have done. So for removing the routing, we have to remove again one by one. So whatever the router networks you have, like for example here in this router, I have configured these networks statically. So I have to remove them one by one, and same as what I have given the command. So to configure this network, I gave a command IP root, then the network, subnet mask, then the first hop address. This was the command to configure the root. Now I want to remove the root, so I have to give the whole command and then I have to start the command with no. So I have to write no at the beginning and then I have to write the whole command again. It is not that easy to remove the network from here also. So if I want to remove this, so I have to remove it like this. Now when I check, and one more thing, remember the show commands we always give on this privilege mode only. Remember, show commands only works in this privilege mode. But now I want to run the show command. I am in the configuration mode. I am doing some configurations. I want to run the show command. So I have to go back to privilege mode to run and then again come back to this config mode. So if you don't want to do that, then you can even run the show commands in this config mode also. You can run the show commands in config mode also, but it will not work like it works in privilege mode. When you type sh, you will not complete. If you press question mark, it says unrecognized command. So it will not complete like this. So what you have to do, you have to run do show. If you want to run the show commands, any show command in config mode, then you will use do. You will begin with do. So I want to see show IP root. So I want to run this command. It is a privilege mode command. This is a privilege mode command show, because I don't want to go to privilege mode to run. So I will run it in the config mode by using the do. And when I run, it runs here. If you don't give do, it will not run. So I removed the network 10 from here. Now I will remove this network 20. So again I have to give the same IP, root, network, subnet mask and the first hop address. Then I have to begin with no. Now when I check do show IP root, you see it is also removed. So what that means, you have to remove the static routing one by one. It is not like a one command you have to remove all the static routes. You have to remove them one by one. And now I want to remove this network also. So I will start with no IP root. Remember, start with no and then you have to give the whole command which you have given to configure the routing. You have to mention the first hop address also, and it is removed now. So as you assign the network, as you configure the networks, you have to remove the network as it is, and you have to give the no command. You have to begin with the no command. So managing this static routing is a difficult task, but it is very fast. It is very fast. We can configure it for the small network, but for the big network it can give you the problem. It can give you the problem. Now the next thing is what? It is called default route. Default route also we configured with the static routing. Remember, we configure the default route as a static routing also. Now what is the default route here? Now default route, or we can say the default routing. This default routing is used in case of stub network. A stub network is a network which has only one outgoing interface to access all network. And default route is a type of static route used by stub routers. This is what it is, also a static route, and it is also configured statically. Now default route is used to customer end or at least end of a network. Default route state that for all networks there is only one gateway. Now let's see, for example, we have a network here, a small network, and we have only one router connected to that network, and we want to go to other. It's a small site here where we don't have multiple machines here. We have a small router connected here. Now remember, the small router, that means it will not able to handle the big routing tables where it has multiple routing informations in the routing table, like this network is here, this network is there, that network is there. It is only a small router here, and it is connected to the WAN, or we can say internet, and there are multiple different networks out there, and we just don't want to configure all those networks to this router. Remember, if you want to configure it statically or dynamically, that means you have to inform about all the networks to this router, so that any of these machines wants to go to those networks, they will go through this router. They will send the request to this router, and the router will send the data to that network exactly. Or let's say we want to connect it to internet here, or at least at the end of the router. That means what? We have in our organizations, we have different departments, and each departments we have divided into different subnets, and we connected them together, this routers. So we have different departments which we have connected through the router. This is our own premises, this is our own organization. Now this will be our end router. End router, that means after that this router is connected to the WAN or internet. And on the WAN or internet we have multiple different networks. So if you want to go to these multiple networks from these networks, like client of this machine, this network wants to go to any of these networks, then this router, the end router, must know about all the networks. Let's say we assume like this is internet here, and internet, that means we have multiple different networks, multiple different sites. Like if you want to go to internet, each site has a different network. Each site has a different network. So how many networks you can configure here on this router, so that your clients of these network or these network can reach to those internet networks or other networks. It is not possible to configure each and every network here. Like we saw in static routing, we have to configure each and every network one by one. So what we can do, we can use the default routing. We can use the default routing here. Now what is default routing? Default routing is very simple. It is static routing. But in static routing, instead of a special network, what we mention is this. Instead of any network, we mention this network 0.0.0.0. Now what that means any network. It means simply any. That means we are saying this router that if you want to go to any other network or any other subnet mask, this is also the subnet mask. So subnet mask will also be given like any 0.0.0. So what I'm saying, I'm adding the root into our routing table of this router, saying for any network of any subnet mask, you can go from this gateway. Now this gateway means what? For this router where we have only single router, we don't know what is the next hop. Remember, we don't know what is the next hop because the next hop is in the internet cloud, WAN cloud. So instead of the first hop, we will mention the outgoing interface name here. Remember, we can mention outgoing interface name also. So we will mention the outgoing interface name. That means we are saying for any network, for any subnet mask, you can go from this interface. So if any network request come from this machine to the router, router knows that for any network, I will throw the packet from this interface and will reach to this WAN. And for this kind of connection, again this router we configure the same. We will configure IP root 0.0.0.0.0.0. That means for any network, any subnet. Default gateway, again we don't know the default gateway, the next hop, so we will mention this interface as a gateway. And that means for going to this any network, you can exit from this outgoing interface and you will reach to WAN network. But if you want to configure this router, now this router has a gateway, this router has a first hop address as this router. So when we configure a static route here, so we will mention the first hop address because we know the first hop address. And for this router also, when we configure the default gateway, default routing, we will configure this first hop address. So we mention this as this, that we mention it like the 0.0.0 for the network and 0.0.0 for the subnet mask, and it simply says any. So how we will configure that? Now let's see it here. I removed the routing from this router, so I will do what? I will remove this network first and I will make it internet here. Let us say it is WAN. So what I will do here, I will remove this I remove the router. Let's say this one we take it as a WAN. We will take this one as a WAN. And what I will do here, this one, like we can assume that this one is a WAN network. Let me add it into the cloud. We can make a design also. And what I will do here, I will connect this network to router, and for that I will go to here and connect, and I will do configure this interface. This interface is our fast Ethernet 0/1. So I will configure this first. You can see I have removed this interface, delete this interface, but the other interface which I connected right now is this fast Ethernet port. So through this fast Ethernet port, we can assume like we are connected to internet. So I will configure that interface. So I will go to interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and the IP address I will configure is 192.168.1.1. and no shutdown. Now these machines are connected to this network, but when we try to connect, let's say I will try to ping from this machine to any of these machines of other network. So I will try to ping any IP of this WAN, or we say internet. Now we are getting the reply. Why? Because our router knows about this network. Why it knows about the network? Because it is connected to that network through this fast Ethernet port. So this router knows about this network because it is connected to this interface. Now I will try to access it from here. So first I will do what? I have a route previously added here, this one, which is actually wrong. Now we have removed it, so we remove this network from here also. So I will say no IP route and 192.172 1.1.0. First hop was this. So now it is removed. So when I check do show IP route, so it does not know about that network. So anything about 192.168 it does not know. This router does not know anything. Now when I try to ping from here any of that IP of this 192.168 1.2 or 3, we are getting destination host and reachable error. Now destination host unreachable error because it is not able to reach to this destination because our router don't know about that network. Now we assume that this is the whole internet we have, and this is what the internet connection we have, and on the internet we are assuming like we have all the type of network there, and this router we are not able to configure every network here. So what we will do, we will configure the default routing on this Andheri router. So what I will do here, I will configure IP route, then 0.0.0.0, this is for the network, and for the subnet mask again 0.0.0.0, and that means any network and any subnet mask. Now I have to mention the first hop address. Now for this network, this design, we have the first hop address here. We know the first hop address is this because when you go to this site, so you will reach first Thane, and the Thane is the first router, and this is the interface, and this is the first hop address. So for this Andheri router, we know the first hop address. But if you don't know the first hop address, then what you will do? You will configure the outgoing interface. So instead of giving the first hop address, you will give this serial interface name because this is the interface from where you can go out for that network. So I will do what? Instead of giving the first hop address, I will mention serial 0/0. This is the name of that interface because I don't know the first hop address. Now if you know the first hop address, then we can mention the first hop address, and if you don't know, then we can mention the interface. Now remember, I have not configured 192.168.1.0 network. I configured this default network, and this is what in the routing table we don't have that network information. We added this default network information. Now when I check do show IP route, now we can see that this is the network, this is the default routing network, and it is directly connected to this serial 0/1. So we can go out from this interface to reach that network, and that means what? Any network. And we configure this as a static route. We can see it is S. Now S means what? It is static, but it is having the star here, and that star means it is a candidate default. That means this network is a default network. Now we'll try to ping from this machine again this IP. Now remember, we were getting the destination host unreachable because there was no information about this network on this router here. But now again it is not having that information, but it knows about this. That means for any return network, it will send the data to that side. So what I will do, I will try again. And now what we are getting the reply. We are getting the reply, and we are getting the reply because now it is sending the packet to that side. Even for any other network, the network which is we don't have in our network, like I want to try to ping 16.0.0.1. Now this network we don't have here. In our design there is no IP, there is no network 16. But still, when I try to ping, my router will not say destination host unreachable. The other router says destination host unreachable. Now which router is saying this? It is this router saying this. Because on this router we don't have the default route. We have not configured the default route. Because it is directly connected, it is giving the reply. So I will configure the default route on this router also. So do show IP route. So there is no default route. So I will configure IP route 0.0.0, 0.0.0. Now for this router, again we don't know the first hop address. So we will mention this outgoing interface, and that is fast Ethernet 0/1. Now on this interface, on this router also we have this default route configured. Now when I try to ping here, previously it was saying not reachable for the network. Now I will try again. Now we will not get destination host unreachable because both the routers are trying to send the data to that default route. But there is no network available, so we are not getting the reply. We always get timeout, but we don't get this destination host unreachable. Because for any IP, it will send the data to that side. Now how you will see that? I will show you that in this packet tracer, how it is working. In this packet tracer, we have this option, it is real time. We are doing it in real time, but there is a simulation mode also. So when you go to simulation mode, it actually starts showing you the packets flowing around the network. Flowing around the network, that means whatever the packet and how the packets are flowing, it shows that. You can play, you can forward and backward also. I will not do anything, I will just close this. I have now into the simulation mode. Now I will do what? I will go back to the machine and I will try to ping this again, this IP. Now when you go back to your design, you can see the packet is ready here. Now this is what the simulation mode. It will help you to understand the packet flow. So it is what, when you hover the mouse, it says it is an ICMP packet. When you click on that packet, it will show you the detail of that packet. It is the packet from PC0, and this is the destination. This is the destination IP. And these layers informations are not there. Outgoing layer, outgoing because right now the packet is going out. So incoming is not there. Outgoing, it is packet 7, layers number layer 7, 6, 5, 4 information is not there. Layer 3 information is there, like source IP and destination IP. The message type is this ICMP, and the Ethernet information is also there. Layer 2 information, source MAC and destination MAC address. Here the source MAC address is this machine's MAC address, and destination MAC address is of this router's interface. Now I will forward the packet from here. So I will say one step ahead. Now it reaches to switch. Now switch don't know about any IP addresses, anything, it knows only MAC address. So if you click on this packet right now, it will show that only this layer 2 information. This is the source destination MAC address from in and out. Now I will forward the packet. Now it goes to router because it is for the gateway. Now router will do what here? If you check the packet, it is in from this source and destination. It says this is the MAC address. Now on the outgoing side, it says this is the source and this is the destination, and this is the layer 2 information. Now in WAN network, there is no MAC address, so it is showing SDLC here. It is showing SDLC. Now what it is showing, it is going to be out from this serial interface. It is came inside from fast Ethernet, and now it is going out from this interface. Why it is going from this interface? Because we have configured for any network through the packet from this interface. Now I will say one step ahead, and you can see the packet is going on this. Now what it is doing here, it is wanted to send the packet to this WAN network, but it does not know about the MAC address, so it is dropping the packet and sending the ARP request. And the packet which first packet drops, remember the first packet drops always, it is because of this process. But it will send the request to this side. You can see it knows the packet, it knows the all IP, it has to send to this side, and it is not getting the reply. So why it is not getting the reply? Because the network is not there. Here it is only this network we have, because it is not a real internet. We have connected this network only. So there is no 16 network. But the data is going in the right way. So you can see the flow is going right way. And again, why we lost the first packet? Because of that ICMP. Let me show you that again. Like I will try to ping this. I will try to ping this. You will see the first packet will be lost. I will try to ping 172.16.0.3, and the first packet will be dropped and the next packets will not be dropped. You see the first packet drops, but the next packets are not dropping. And when you type again, it will not drop any packet. It happens because of that ICMP, ARP request. Let's see it in the simulation. Now you see, I will try to ping this one first time. So it will also drop the first packet. So I will try to ping this first time. Now see what happens. This is our ping request, and it is going for this IP address. It is going for the first time. So it goes like this. Switch. Now switch send it to router. Now router knows, it checks the routing table. It says that this network is in this side and this is the first hop address, so it will send it to that side. Now here what is happening here, that this packet is dropping here. Because why? Because our router does not know about this machine's MAC address. It does not know about the MAC address, but it wants to send the packet. So first it sends the ARP request. This is the ARP packet to get the MAC address, and this is what, it's a broadcast packet. It sends it through this this router's MAC address, and it has a broadcast packet. It is in the information. It is giving the information that this is the IP address. I want to know the MAC address. So the packet goes, and it is a broadcast packet, so everyone will receive the packet. The switch will broadcast it. Now no one will reply, only this machine will reply, and the reply will go to router, and now router knows the MAC address, but the first packet was dropped. The first echo packet is dropped, and we can see here the packet is dropped here, but the next packet will reach properly. So the next packet, now this is not the packet, now the next packet will come. This is the next ICMP packet. Now this will not drop because our MAC, this router knows the MAC address, so it will forward the packet properly, exactly to that destination machine, and it will reply, it will get the reply also. So that is why the first packet was dropped. So when you see the first packet was dropped, because the destination router does not know about the destination MAC address, so it drops the packet. But the next time it does not drop the packet, and again you try to ping, it will not drop any packet. So this simulation mode is very good to see the flow of the network. So this is what the default routing, we configure the default routing only when we want to configure it for any network. So this is the default routing, or we can say the default route. And remember, this default routing always we configure as a static route. So we configure it as a static route, so it can go to any network. Always at the end of the router, at the end of the network, we configure the static route which is connected to internet or WAN. Or if you have a single network and you have a single router which is connected to WAN or internet, so you configure the static route. Instead of this default route, instead of configuring every network one by one, we configure the default route. So it goes on to any route, any network, it goes on to that path. So we saw what is the static routing and what is the static routing problems and benefits, and the default routing also.